So I just found out this song is a cover, but it doesn't matter because it's an excellent cover, an excellent song. So it's Hard Times by Miko Marks and the Resurrectors. And I'll just read a little excerpt from an interview she gave with The Boot, which is a country music website. I'm not familiar with that either. I'm not too big on country music and Americana, but Miko Marks's album Race Records and or EP Race Records and her album Our Country, like, really just, I can't stop listening to them both. And Hard Times is featured on both, and it's one of the best songs on both. So the article in The Boot begins, Miko Marks understands if you're a bit confused about her new cover of Hard Times. So Hard Times was written by Stephen Foster in 1854. And he also wrote Oh Susanna and Camptown Races. And Emmylou Harris, Bob Dylan, and Mavis Staples all covered Hard Times. However, the article goes on to state that Foster's music, however, is tied to the era's blackface minstrel shows. Much of his success came through the appropriation of black culture and music, Marks notes. And then the article says, indeed, though he used Southern themes in his music, Foster was born in Pennsylvania and never lived in the South. Then it says, to Marks, though, and quote, this felt like an opportunity to take a song of his and reclaim it through my own voice as a black artist. So there you go. And I think she does that very well. So I am going to listen to the song right now. This is so high tech because I have my iPhone next to my laptop, and I'll see if I can get like a little bit of a sort of a mix going. It's the easiest thing for me to do. I'm not that technically inclined, but the spirit is there, damn it. So I've heard the song 8 billion times, but I'll still talk about it anyway. And then you don't have to have any, there won't be any pauses in the commentary for it. And then I'll go over the lyrics. The lyrics are straightforward, simple, but really relatable. So, oh, and by the way, Race Records was a term used in everyday language in the early 1900s to describe black music played by black people of that era. So I think Marks is taking that term back too. That's what I think, and saying, yeah, I'm gonna call it this no matter what type of language you use, and just how music belongs to everyone. She actually, let me get her quote on that. So once again, it's from The Boot when Race Records was about to be released. And then it says, Race Records, which takes its name from the colloquial term used to describe any music made by black artists in the early 1900s, highlights the diverse influences that have all been injected into country music since its inception. And then, quote, this is what Mark says, blues, gospel, bluegrass, country, all of these styles were influencing each other early on, crossing racial and cultural divides the way music should. And Race Records is it contains all covers. It's about 6 songs, and all songs are great, and they're all cover songs, and it's excellent covers for each song. So with that said, I am going to play it and hopefully try not to cry. Actually, let me get the lyrics up as well as I yawn, because it's 1:45 in the morning. What can I say? I'm a night person, but I usually start to go to sleep at this time. So I'm going to play it and follow the lyrics, and let's get to it. Just like right away, just beautiful guitar work. It just brings me into a lull of relaxation and makes me feel good. And then her just incredible voice comes in. There it is. And it just, It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter how much money you have, although money certainly helps. Money really makes a difference, up to a certain point. If you can afford things and be able to save and get the necessities, really rich people can go through hard times for so many different reasons, and the money does help, but up to a certain point. You I'm sure all of you can think of rich people that just didn't make it, or rich people who are depressed. But money does help. So hard times. My point is, I'm rambling. My point is, hard times affects everybody. Obviously, it affects different people in different ways, but everybody has their own struggles and hard times to go through, and I think they really ought to be validated, no matter where in life that you are, and at the same time leaving space for each other and really helping the most vulnerable when you can, because helping people is good for your mental health as well. So let's continue. And she just does such a great job in just how it's starting to build. It's just like her voice is just like smooth as silk. It's such a relaxing album, but at the same time, it's so uplifting, and it's validating. The music is telling you, yeah, there are hard times, and we don't want them to come again, even though they will. It's just the fact of life. It's the ebbs and flows. But it shows that, how we can all relate to each other, and hopefully through music and our shared stories, it brings us closer together. And then the music, her backing band, the Resurrectors, are really, really good, and they pull this off incredibly live as well. So it's just building and building. So kind of like taking back the title of Resurrectors, she's taking back, she's taking back the song in a way, just based on its nefarious past in the minstrel shows, and that's where she hits her peak vocally, because it's nearing the end of the song, and it's reaching its peak, and that's what music does. It brings us in peaks and valleys, just like life. The crescendos, and after the crescendos, the decrescendos. Damn it, hard times. We don't want you to come again. No more. Stop it. Stop. So what a beauty. What a beauty of a song. So I'll quickly go through the lyrics. So let us pause in life's pressures and count its many tears. Now that's a profound line, because it throughout the pleasures, it's good to kind of take stock and make sure you're not holding anything back, because feeling your feelings will make things less stressful for you. And while we all drink sorrow with the poor, so either it's the poor drinking with each other in solidarity, or maybe those who aren't poor drinking in solidarity with them, the form of togetherness. There's a song that will linger forever in our ears. Oh, hard times come again no more. So it's kind of depressing, because it's saying, let's pause in being happy and count the tears in life while we're drinking, which isn't isn't a good thing to do if you're feeling depressed. You don't want to drink because it can bring you down further. And it's just having it in the back of your mind that, oh, these are hard times. Hard times are happening now, and even if they're not, they're coming. Then it goes on. 'Tis the song, the sigh of the weary, hard times come again no more. Many a days you have lingered around my cabin door, oh, hard times come again no more. So it's like the Foster's saying, I've experienced it before. I know it's just right around the corner, which is, a symptom of anxiety, where it's like, even if things are great, it's like, oh, well, this is going to come soon. It's future tripping, thinking about the future, where you can't, at the expense of the moment, and you can't enjoy the moment. So it's just hard times all around, even if you might be feeling good. While we seek joy and beauty to lift our cares away, this is true, and that's what, music can do. As well as other forms of art or anything that makes anybody happy, provided no one else is being hurt. So while we seek joy and beauty to lift our cares away, there are frail forms fainting at the door. So again, it's going back to, it's right at the door. It's coming. You may be happy now, but it's coming. And then it says, though their voices are silent, their pleading looks will say, oh, hard times come again no more. So it's, it could be a little bit of pride, could be a little bit of, being stoic and in the face of adversity, you just have that game face on. And, that can help people as well. At the same time, I think that only goes up to a certain point, and where it's appropriate, you want to express how you're feeling instead of bottling it up, because bottling it up, it can come out in different ways. So what are some ways to express how you feel? Well, listening to music, watching movies. That's why I talk about music and movies most of the time on this podcast, hence the title. And then it's talking to a mental health professional and getting those feelings out. It's so important. It's so important. And then to realize that your feelings are always correct, always, because that's how you feel. Like, did you ever say to somebody, oh my God, I'm so mad, and someone says, well, don't be mad. It's like, well, how do you feel after that? It's invalidating, and it just probably makes you more pissed off. So find a safe space so you're not being judged for saying those feelings, wherever that might be. Just make sure you have that acceptance and non-judgment in those places. Now, I'm fully aware that the world isn't a safe space. It's just not. But it's good to have those safe spaces so you can better cope with the world. It's the people who use safe space as a pejorative. They don't realize what it is. And everybody has a safe space, whether it's just hanging out with a bunch of friends or just being in the moment where it's like, hey man, just listen to me and I don't need to be argued with right now. That's a safe space, and it's fine. It helps. God damn it. So 'tis the song, the sigh of the weary, hard times come again no more. Many days you linger around my cabin door, and then it just kind of repeats. So I just realized before I started, because I wanted to look up a little bit about Race Records, that it's all covers, which I didn't know. Whiskey River's a good one. That's a Willie Nelson song, which I didn't know was a Willie Nelson song, but I'll look it up. Like I said, I'm not that big on country or Americana, but this album kind of made me at least a fan of Miko Marks and the Resurrectors, just because how good it is. And then the album Our Country is really good as well, because I couldn't stop listening to Race Records. So I'm like, when Race Records ended, I was like, well, I want more of Miko Marks. It's too short. So then that's why I bought Our Country, and that is good as well. Like I said, Hard Times is on that, and there's some good protest songs in that as well. Goodnight America being one of them. So really good stuff. Now that things are starting to open up a little bit, I'm pretty risk averse when it comes to the virus, but I am looking forward to going back to shows. I do hope to see Miko Marks and the Resurrectors sometime somewhere out there in New York, the great state of New York where I live. With concerts, I've seen most of the bands I want to see. I'm 45 years old and been to a lot of concerts over the years, and she and her band are at the top of my list just because these albums are so good. So we shall see. So I speaking of the virus, one way to combat the virus, especially through all the changes that are going on, is to get your news from a credible source. That being said, I hope the boot's a credible source. I hope it wasn't a fake interview with Miko Marks. But seriously though, get your information, get like your important information from a credible source. New York Times, BBC, NPR, USA Today, and the like, to know how to still be safe. Get vaccinated, get boosted if you aren't. Please, 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 please build up that armor for yourself and others, especially the most vulnerable around us, those with who are immunocompromised, the elderly, children, young children who are not vaccinated yet. Do your due diligence to protect those as well as protect yourself. So with that said, I wish you good night, even though it's morning. And if you want to drop me a line, you can find me on Twitter at MMAM Podcast. You can find me on Facebook at MMAM Podcast. You can email me at mmampodcast@gmail.com. All right, everybody. Take care now. Bye.